I'm Deneb Puchalski. I work with Lie-Nielsen Toolworks. I've traveled all over doing trade shows and work at the shop. So come see us when you can. And now, if you look at the edge, you can actually see it's a clean surface there. And you should be able to feel just a little bit of. Now be careful when you're feeling for that you don't pull it loose. So I use very light pressure. I'm just basically touching it. Yeah. As soon as I can feel that little wire thing. A lot of people will go lengthways. I don't like to do that because I don't like to get little metal slivers in my fingers. Yeah. And running along the edge, lengthways along that edge, it'll pop off there. Why you won't really even see it, but it's there. It hurts. So I can feel that little bit of burr. Because I did that extra work on this stone, I am going to reflatten it just so it's ready for the next time I'm going to work with it. And this is what I like about this diamond, the stone that Sharpening came out with, is that it cuts very quickly and aggressively. Right, leveled out almost immediately. It's flat. You don't need it. You don't want it. It will wear like anything does. I'm cleaning this so that those little gullies, the gullets here, don't fill with the slurry from the stone. But one of the advantages of these is that it's a glass casting with the diamond embedded into it. And so the vertical sides of those gullies have diamond in them as well as the horizontal set surface. So everything that's touching the stone is covered. If you do use a diamond stone for flattening your water stones, don't use them for anything else. Because a blade, working at the edge of the flat back of a blade or a chisel, you're going to wear the stone unevenly. You're going to put some shape to it. Even though these are not flat, when I'm working on them, it's an overall flat surface. So I have a much more consistent reference surface as I'm working the diamond on there. So this will, it'll be years and years before this is going to wear unevenly. Because I also make sure that I'm continually working these stones, so they're never totally out of flat. And it's one part of the reason it's so quick to get them back.
What are the grips that you recommend?
I use 1,000 and 8,000 for sharpening, and I'll use a 4,000 occasionally for flattening the backs of blades. But my primary sharpening stones are 1,000 and 8,000, and I use the 1,000 as a roughing stone. I use the 8,000 as a honing stone. So there are times when I don't need to go all the way back to the 1,000. If I'm just touching up the edge, I can go straight to my 8,000. I don't have to always go all the way back. But I rarely use stones any coarser than 1,000 because they're so soft that they just dish immediately, and you can end up making more work for yourself than saving. I typically use sandpaper, coarse grit sand, like a 150, 220, and 400 grit sandpaper on a granite lapping plate or on a piece of thick plate glass to do that rough work. If I'm going to grind by hand, I'm not doing that on a 220 stone. I'm going to do, or a 500 grit stone. I'm going to do it on sandpaper on a flat reference surface because it's not truly flat. It's not as flat as these stones can be, but it never gets any less flat than it is. You wear out the paper pretty quickly, but you're right back, and so you can get a consistency. You usually end up putting a little bit of a camber in the blade, so it'll be crowned on the flat surface a little bit, but because I'm doing micro bevels, that doesn't really matter to me. I don't care. My 1,000 grit stone will get a straight line right away. Then my 8,000 grit stone, I come up a couple degrees extra, which I'm about to do now, because I'm about to put the bevel on. So I'm always working the tip of the blade rather than the whole flat surface. If I were working my whole flat surface for getting the edge, then it's much more important that this is a true straight edge. So you can play around with that stuff a little bit.
Do you use a ruler?
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, there's no gain by having a mirror polish from the tip of the blade back to here. You've gained absolutely nothing. But if you are trying to get a mirror polish at the tip of the blade, you have to polish all the way back. A blade this size can be taking 2 to 3 hours to get polished to the level that you need it to be polished to. Because all you're worried about